So I've been traveling a bunch lately, I've barely been home, and that means my setup cleanliness has kind of gone to the wayside. So I'm cleaning things up in here, getting rid of some stuff I don't need, and it's got me thinking about some things that I couldn't live without. You know, things that give you that giddy feeling like you can't believe they're real. So without further ado, here are those things. Alright, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here a while, you know I've been on my high horse about wireless technology lately. So naturally, first thing on my list is going to be this wireless keyboard and mouse combo I've got here. We'll start with the keyboard because this is the newest to the channel. This is the Nuphy Air 96 V2. It's a 96 key wireless keyboard. And yeah, wireless technology's been here for a while. That's not what's so cool about it. What makes it feel so futuristic and so premium, but yeah, at the same time, so simple, is the ability with a flip of a switch to just go from the 2.4 gigahertz connection to Bluetooth. Why that's such a big deal as somebody like me who is constantly hopping back and forth between Mac and PC. I can be working on my PC, flip the switch, come right back down to my iPad without even missing a beat. And again, it's super simple. This isn't the only keyboard with this technology. Keychron has quite a few. I know as far as the low profile goes, Low-Free is a big competitor with Nuphy out there, but it's just a really nice feeling to use. Now, talking about the mouse, the Logitech MX Master 3S. Same thing here, you have a button on the bottom that switches between the devices, but it's the customization on this thing that I really love. There's 3 buttons and a side scroll wheel where your thumb sits, obviously your classic mouse 1, mouse 2, and a scroll wheel that you can also press the button on top and make it do an infinite scroll, so you just flick it, and as hard as you can flick it, the longer it'll scroll. And within the Logi Options Plus software, you can customize every single one of these buttons to do whatever you want per program. So you'll see here I actually have different profiles for Photoshop, Lightroom, DaVinci Resolve, so I can maximize the utility of each button depending on what I'm doing with the mouse. And it helps too that the battery life on these two things is ridiculous. I barely ever need to charge them. Listen man, I know it doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal, but I'm telling you, if you work at a desk a lot, you switch over to all wireless peripherals, it really feels like a thing of the future for some reason. So speaking of charging, I actually charge everything on my desk, my iPad, my keyboard, my mouse, all with just one cable. This is called the Volta Max cable. It has these magnetic tips that you just plug into your devices, so then the cable will magnetically attach to them. So I have one for USB-C, one for Lightning, one for micro USB. So the USB-C one pretty much lives in my iPad. I have another one that pretty much lives in my PlayStation controller. And whenever I need a charge, I just click the wire on. It's just been super useful for keeping my desk free of cables, and it's really nice to be able to just swap between charging devices, as simple as that. Now, while we're talking about Volta, by the way, this isn't sponsored by them or anything. They don't even know I'm making this video. They just released this Volta Go power bank. It's super small, so I keep one in my backpack and one just kind of floats around my house for whenever I need to charge on something. And I guess same kind of thing with the keyboard. I don't really know what that feeling is, what it is about it. It's not like we've never seen a wireless charger before, but something just feels so futuristic about being able to grab my phone, grab my power bank, snap it on, and it even has this little stand on the back. So if I'm washing dishes or something and I want to charge my phone, I can swap it over into landscape mode. And I don't know if different MagSafes have different grip strengths, but the grip on this thing is insane. I don't have to worry about my phone falling off of it whatsoever. So between this and the universal cable they sell, I've rid my office of all charging cables. Now next up on the list, it's a little bit expensive, but it's 100% the coolest thing I have in my office right now. This is the Hexcal Studio. So it's got a light underneath with all these different buttons for changing the brightness, the temperature, the lighting zones, and you can save different presets, so that's cool. It's got a wireless charger on the side for like your phone, your AirPods, things that use MagSafe. Sweet. But where it really stands out is it also acts as a power strip and a cable organizer. So the top has this little hinge on it, and the inside of it is hollow, so you can hide all your cables from like your monitor light bar. I even have my standing desk plugged into this thing with extra wires tucked up inside. And then on the back of it, you've got these really nice cable channels to keep the wires from going everywhere, along with 8 AC outlets with a circuit breaker, so you don't have to worry about anything blowing out in a power outage or a power surge, along with 3 built-in USB-A ports and a USB-C port on the outside. And the cool part about 2 of these USB-A ports is they're actually connected to 2 USB-A ports on the inside as well for bridging. So you can plug something into the USB-A ports on the inside, hide it inside the shelf itself, and then access it by plugging something into the outside. So an example of this would be if you have some sort of hard drive or something plugged into the port on the inside, you could plug into the color corresponding port on the outside, and now you're connected to that hard drive without it being on your desk anywhere. So I mean, this thing is an absolute beast as a desk shelf. It blows every single other one I've seen out of the water. But you'll see sitting on top of that is my G9 OLED, and as I already mentioned, I also use the LG C3 TV as my main monitor, which is the next thing on my list, OLED. You'll hear people, including myself, talk so much praise about OLEDs, and it's for a good reason. They look incredible. Whenever I'm not home for a while and I'm just using my phone or my iPad on the road, whenever I come back and turn on my OLED monitors, I actually am like, damn, I still am wowed when I sit down after not looking at them for a while. Now, I've talked extensively about the G9 OLED. Don't really recommend that one, to be honest. But once I got the settings dialed in and it working properly, I can't deny that it looks absolutely incredible. The LG C3, on the other hand, I don't think I really changed many settings at all. It just came like this straight out of the box. Still blows me away day after day. There's just something about the detail and the contrast that these things have that make you feel like you're seeing better than your vision has ever seen before. I haven't had any issues with burn-in yet. I think once they get that really under wraps and find out a way to really avoid that, these things are going to be the new norm going forward. But especially for playing games, out of all the things on this list, this is probably the biggest one that makes the biggest difference day in and day out. Now, the last thing I want to mention was on my list, off my list quite a few times, and so I figured I'd just talk about it and see what you guys think in the comments. Voice assistants, like the Amazon one, the Google one, the one on the iPhones. I'm trying to avoid saying their names so I don't activate any of them. I personally feel like these things are really nice to have. There's plenty of times throughout the week that I'm so glad I have one. I have almost all my lights and a lot of my gear connected to the Amazon one. You know, I'll be laying in bed, forget to turn the light off in the living room, be able to shut it off with just a voice command. Do stuff like set timers while I'm cooking, pull up my security cameras on my TV is a really nice one to have. However, I feel like they kind of blew up over COVID when people were home a lot, and now they're kind of on the downward slope. So I don't really know if this feels like a thing of the future or if it's already a thing of the past. But like I said, for me, I have my whole house set up on them and it's great. I still use the voice commands all throughout the day to do all sorts of different tasks, and nothing feels more futuristic or like I'm in some sort of spaceship than when I leave my office at the end of the night and I say, "Hey Alexa, turn off all the lights in the office." Feels pretty sweet. I don't know, man. Let me know what you think. But that is my most futuristic tech that I couldn't live without, and really kind of gives me that giddy feeling like I'm in some sort of sci-fi movie every day. If you have any questions about anything, if you have anything of your own that you'd like to add, please let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.